I'm glad that we're having this conversation because one of the things you want to be sure about with an institution like INEC is that there is no assumption of partisanship. And I think this is the reason why this is very critical. The allegation is that Professor Amupiton had a Twitter account. The counter allegation, the counter, from INEC is that he never had a Twitter account. But, I was minding my business and then this conversation started on this and then I got interested. And mostly because INEC denies, because I've been in Nigeria for a while and I know that when a public institution denies something, then you have to ask more questions. And I checked. It is not true that there was no Twitter account in that name. 3 things, that's number one. I checked, and anyone can go and check the web archive. Don't forget, this is 2026, not 2023, not 1999. The web archive takes a snapshot of pages on the web such that you can go back in time. It's called the Wayback Machine. You can go back in time and check for conversations that have been happening. And I did find Joash Amupiton, the handle, which of course people have checked and have said now that handle changed. I have also checked to find out who owns the new Twitter handle. He claims to be a hacker. He claims to have found it when he was doing his OSINT, some of his tests and things like that. But it's just so interesting also that in owning this Sunday Vibe 00 account, the person behind that account is a partisan supporter of the APC, which is also funny because you're claiming that, oh, I'm the one who has this account and things like that, and this is another allegation. And I want to also quickly respond to what your guest was saying earlier. You did say, sir, that anybody can get his email address and anybody can get his number. But the reality is that you cannot use anyone's email or phone number to open a Twitter account without getting access to the content of that email or the messages that are sent to that number. What I've also seen, and I didn't spend a lot of time, over the last few hours I checked, and I've seen at least 4 accounts. So if someone is trying to cover the tracks, the person is probably well paid and is doing a good job, because now there are multiple accounts, most of them created in April, one of them now verified. And when you check the history of many of these accounts, you will find that there's a lot of confusion on what they are tweeting. And, I can even give you very practically some of those, Twitter usernames. One of them is Joas, not Joash, Joas with double S-H, Amupiton, pretending. And this one actually follows INEC officially. And, is sharing information as if it's official. The other one is Joshua Mupiton. The other one is Joash Amupiton. And then there is a 4th one, which is verified, which asks the name of the INEC chairman. Now, 2 challenges that we have here. The first challenge is that the denial by INEC falls flat on its face. And it's very unfortunate that this continues with a trend of something going wrong in Nigeria and a public institution rushes out to say that something is not true. Because what you've done is you've now created interest by people like myself and others to go and find out if what you have said here is true or not. What is true, what is a fact, is that an account existed. What is a fact is that that account was traced to email addresses and numbers that are associated with the current INEC chair. Does that mean he opened the account? Maybe someone around him opened it, but for anyone to use your email address and your mobile number to open an account, then they have access to your email and to your mobile number. So maybe we should ask Prof if he lost access to his email and his phone number at some point and someone used that to set him up. Otherwise, there are many questions that INEC has to answer about partisanship and about outright lies by public officials. It is even more shameful when you try to cover an act that everyone could be partisan in the past and change their minds. But when you now outrightly deny and start creating accounts or start trying to, create a cloud, and then somebody comes up and says, I'm a hacker, I'm the one that owns this account, and you clearly, there's a clear connection between this person and the IT agency in Nigeria, and also the, is it called I don't even know what they call them now, something Vanguard.